Hi, hello everyone, good evening, and it's very nice to have you here. I hope you're all doing great, and welcome to our August Intro to UX Design info session. I know that you are watching from all over the world, and I'm very happy for that. So let me wish you good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So my name is Mirjana. I'm UX design training advisor. And I would like to hear, before we kick off with our content, where are you watching us from? So please put your destination in the chat box and say hi to all of us. Okay, we have a very shy participant this evening, but never mind. Let me introduce our UX Academy. We are Academy, London-based Academy, delivering UX design trainings for many years. Okay, we have Anna from France. Hi, thank you for your support. Sending hi. Oh, hi, Ale. Okay, sending my love and greetings to Italy. Also, good evening to our next participant, Shirley. Okay, great. Hi, New York. So we have different time zone, and thank you all for your support. Okay, so as I have started, our academy is delivering. Hi, Dublin. Sorry for interrupting, but very nice to have your greetings and support. We are delivering UX design trainings for more than 4 years now. We have had more than 1,000 students who made great UX design careers. So we are very happy to have you here and hope this will be your great start in your new UX design career. You will have the chance to meet our great expert, teacher Natalia, and hope that it will not be only very useful to you, but a great pleasure to share this evening with us. Okay, hi, Michael, Dublin. Hi, India, great. Hi, France. Hi, Dublin. So, wow, we have a great company here this evening. So happy to see that. Okay, let's skip to our agenda for this evening. Just a moment. We have some issues with slides, live session, sorry. Okay, so not working, but anyway, our agenda this evening is basically that you pick up the basics of UX design from our industry expert, as I have mentioned, our teacher Natalia, and that you learn basically and get information how to become UX designer and how to build your best portfolio. We all know it's very important in starting UX design career to have a great portfolio. So I hope you will stay tuned and you will pick up many useful information from us. At the end of our session, you will have the chance to ask all of your questions to our great teacher, Natalia. Okay, as I have said, we are a London-based academy. We were performing in the city center, but as the situation started, we, as other companies, switched online. So we are performing and delivering our sessions live, Zoom sessions. So our students are working live, nothing pre-recorded, working on real projects. So I think this is enough for you to stay interested. Okay, hello, Peter from Austria. So we have neighbor countries here. Great to have you here. Okay, so after this longer introduction, I will invite my colleague Katrina to continue with her content. Hi, Katrina.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Mirjana. Thank you for a lovely brief introduction about UX Academy. Now, I will speak a little more about our courses. First, I'm training manager here at UX Academy, so I work with our lovely students. I make sure that they're progressing well and that the courses are running smooth and that they're learning and growing. So that's my role. But now a little bit about our live courses. So we started as a classroom course, running courses at Central London for a number of years, but then like everyone else, we had to switch to Zoom. As you can see here on these screenshots, those are our courses. So we have one live instructor during the course and about 10 students. We keep our classroom size small, which helps interaction and building those close relationships with course instructors, mentors, your teammates, because throughout the course you would be split in teams and you would work in groups to accomplish a client project, which you can use later as your portfolio. And for over the 4 years that we have been around, we have taught over 1,000 students. So now here on this slide, we can see many companies that we have taught and many students from all around the world, from, as you can see, many companies. And now something also interesting to learn is tools we use. So we use Slack throughout our course for communication. So you would be having if you join the course, you would be in 3 different groups on Slack, one with your whole group, other would be with your team that you would be working on your client project. And then third Slack group would be with a client where you can follow up with any questions. Also, course instructors are in all those groups, and they're helping you accomplish all the goals in order to finish your client project by the end of the course. Also, we have Google Drive, where we add our course recordings and course slides. So in case you can't come to one of the courses because you have some schedule conflict, you can watch our course later and then follow up with the questions with course instructors and mentors. Also, we use Figma and FigJam, which are very popular industry standard tools for prototyping. And also, as I already described, we use Zoom for our courses. And also throughout the course, you would be split in breakout rooms on Zoom to work on your client project with your team. Next thing I would like to talk about is mentorship, which is a very neat point about UX Academy. So every week you get 30 minutes of team mentorship with an industry expert where you can follow up with any questions you might have, any blockers, and mentor make sure that you're progressing well with the course content as well as the client project. And next is our guide. So when you complete the course, we give you the how to break into UX industry guide, which has some great advices on how to get started. Also, as you might already know, demand for UX designer is increasing, and Glassdoor added UX design to their list of the best 50 jobs to have in 2021. And now I will invite our colleague back, Mirjana, to join, and she will tell you why UX Academy.
Okay, why UX Academy? Why did we all choose UX Academy? Simply because it's great. We have 100% live online teaching, nothing pre-recorded. So as I like to say to all of my students I'm talking to, basically you have your hands in the project, in the real thing. We are certificated academy, which means that you are receiving a course certificate upon finishing our course. But the best thing about all is basically that you have a real project in your portfolio. Our job is to take care that you finish this project successfully from the beginning during the 8 weeks of the course till the very end, with the help of our great teachers. During our sessions, our course, you have UX design mentorship, which allows you to have a full support of our teacher and our school overall. We have very experienced UX design teachers who are working in the industry more than 10 years. And we also offer great payment options to our UX design students. Okay, so let's go through our payment plans, which are very attractive to our students because some of our payment plans allows you to pay the course in 12 monthly installments. It's a great thing, and our students are very fond of it. But you can also use many other payment options, as you can see, credit card, Apple Pay, Visa, Google Pay, and also our great applications for splitting the fee in up to 12 monthly installments. Okay, so these are our great teachers, Natalia Veretenyk and Stratis Valachis, both of them more than 10 years in the industry. Natalia is a lead product designer and Stratis is a lead UX consultant. And if I may say so, when you join our course, you are in very, very safe hands. Okay, so before I invite our teacher Natalia, I would like to present say more about our client presentation. Our student Sam, basically, who had a great experience with our courses. So after our teacher Natalia finishes, you will have the chance to hear directly about experience with our projects and courses. So welcome, Natalia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me and thank you for introduction. So yeah, I'm Natalia Veretenyk. I am lead product designer in KPMG UK. My office is based in London and I'm currently in London. It's quite nice weather today and I'm very happy to be here with you and thank you again for invite. So I would like to share today my experience, my knowledge, and give you some overview. What is UX design? What is the role of UX designers? What is your day-to-day task, responsibilities? And answer the most common question, what is the salary of UX designers? So this session for beginners, so I will start with the very beginning. So what is UX design? To explain what is UX design, I would like to use the term user experience, or UX, is how a person feels about interacting with product. That term first coined in the 90s by Don Norman. We say Don Norman is the father of user experience because it's the first person who started to speak about user experience for everyday things. And actually, he has a book, the same name. So if you're interested about user experience and things around you, that's the right reading. Doesn't matter if you have experience or you don't have experience, just type Don Norman and you find a lot of interesting stuff. And if we speak about the product and person, who is the person? What is the product? So when we use the person, we say user, because in the context of digital world, we use customers, users, and of course, it's humans, it's a persona. And when we speak about the product, what kind of product? And it can be any product what we use day to day. It can be remote control, it can be TV, refrigerator, microwave, any device you use, even elevator. So everywhere is experience, how you experience it with the product, any technology, any service, everywhere is some experience. So in the digital world, when we speak about the experience, we speak about the web pages, applications. So every day you interact with maybe weather application or news application, or maybe you work in some platform every day in your job, or if you are a student, or if you are working in some industry where you use some machines for some data or log in, log out in your day-to-day. Everywhere is user experience. User experience every screen. So if we speak about the screens, and this is one of the examples, it's not just the application like a weather application. Sometimes it's some application that use the real world and digital world, right? So nowadays, cars have applications where you can control how is your car, what is the temperature, how is the wheels, do you need to change something, do you need to control, do you need to visit, or any other information, what you need to do. And this information is somehow stored in application, somehow displayed in application, somehow organized. And to have all this information, you need a user experience to organize the right information, to gather the user needs, a person needs, what kind of information should be in this application, what the owner of the car would like to see in this application. For all this, you need to have some research, ask people, organize this, and make some assumption. Based on this assumption, you keep going and you work as a UX designer. But UX design can be further. It's still digital, but it's virtual reality. That's a very hot topic, and probably you have heard about the metabase, metaverse, and that's the future of virtual life, our digital life, right? Already exist a lot of platforms, a lot of digital devices what you can use for your day-to-day life. And you know that a lot of companies work on virtual meetings, so it's our next step in our day-to-day life. If you use a Netflix and you watch the film on Netflix, and if you have an Oculus, one of the device for virtual reality, you know that you can have a Netflix inside of your Oculus. So you technically sit in a virtual room and watching the Netflix. So it sounds a little bit like a science fiction, and if you read Ready Player One, probably you are familiar with this world, what will happen, and actually how we are going to live. So that's another way of user experience, how people interact with virtual reality. Augmented reality, it's also next step. So after you use just a map and navigator in your cell phone, now you can use your augmented reality and you can see where is direction. So simply Google Maps now help you, guide you on the street. So it shows to you in what direction you have to walk and help you go to the right point in a shorter way. So that's augmented reality example. But of course, you have heard about a lot of games with virtual augmented reality, right? But I think this example is very, very useful example. It's not just a simple game. It's something what really can improve your life. If you are traveling for the job or for a vacation to the other city, that's something what can improve your experience in the city and more. So you can see some devices what use physical and digital, right? And Peloton, it's one of the example. So Peloton has a dashboard that help measure your activities, help you see live sessions. And again, you have to have some dashboard. You have to present to your customers how organized data, what data should be there, how to show the classes, how to make these classes fun, how to make these classes active. All this is a user experience. So how customer behave with your product. And that's a good example how physical product connected to the digital product. And maybe one more example, that's a home, smart home, right? So that's application, particular one, it's Apple Home, right? So how you can control your home, right? So that's the next step also. It's a little bit farther than just a website or mobile application where you can find information or check the weather, right? So it's a smart, it's when you can control all your home with your cell phone. So everything is connected as you see, and everywhere you need a user experience. How organize information, how looks the screen, what kind of information, how customize this screen for user needs. Everywhere we need some user experience input. So if we back to the user experience term, so user experience is interaction between artifact and user. So different kind of the artifacts. So it can be mobile application, it can be dashboard, it can be augmented reality, it can be virtual reality, it can be the website. So any digital artifacts or even physical artifacts like a remote control and interaction with the user, the customer who use this artifact, it's a user experience. So now I hope it's clear what UX or user experience means. And I would like to give you some overview how UX designers work, right? So to understand how designers works, we have to think if we have user experience and user experience help people, UX designers also help people, and UX design help make technology easier for users, for people, make them more enjoyable, easier to understand, and of course accessible. And the responsibility of user experience designers depend on our approach. How do we work? And I highlighted our day-to-day task, what we are doing as a UX designers. So we working with the users. We try to understand who is our customer, who is our user, what is the problem they are facing, what we have to solve. We try to empathize with the people and understand if we can improve their life, if can we make it better. It can be something from scratch and we can try and innovate something and find the new way, or we can maybe improve existing experience. So for that, we are conducting user research. There are lots of methods of user research, and for that, we need to learn about user experience and what method use in what situation and what kind of the research we have to take. Wireframing prototyping, that's one of the most common probably, and probably you have heard about that. Wireframing, it's when you're visualizing your idea, right? And you're making your idea visible. So it can be paper and pencil, it can be digital. So wireframing, so you are ideate. And then you are going to prototype. Prototype is a simulation of the product. So your prototype, your wireframes or your mock-ups, what's been visual design and final visual design, you're prototyping, you're trying to make it as much as possible similar to the real product. You go to the user and you are testing. So you are conduct user testing. And then you are delivered the design. So you can deliver design to the clients, or you can deliver design to the marketing or management or your team. So depend how big your company or how the structure of the company. You can work in end-to-end process when you are starting from understanding the user and finish with deliver the design to the developers, but also you can keep going to work close to the developers, and you can work on the process of implementation of your idea, implementation of your experience, what you think should be in this or another product, and you deliver final product. So you support your team and you have something in the end. So you are launch the product. That's something what I enjoyed the most when you are starting and you are working whole process and you see how growing your project and how it's from nothing become a product. So from start to finish, and you can see that people use it. That I think the most enjoyable moment. And all these stages, what I just described, it's design thinking process. So most of the companies in digital world with the digital product, when they are implementing digital in their work, they are working design thinking framework, design thinking approach. So design thinking consists 5 stages. Is empathize with the user. So it's a moment when you are understanding who is your user, who is your customer. You try to understand their life. Maybe you have to even visit them to see how they are living, or you are just having interview to understand who they are. You define their problem. You define what is the problem of people and how you can help them during the ideation session. Then you are prototyping and you are testing. So it seems like a linear process, but it is not. So that process, it's iterative. So we are iterate, we see if we need to go and back to the previous stages, and we define what is the stage where we are, if we have enough information, how is our idea? Do we want to back? Do we need to back? So that's our day-to-day life. So we are going and we are trying to accomplish our goal. So we are trying to make the life of our user easier, right, by going step by step. And if we need, we're back to the previous step and we do it again. That's totally normal. So we are iterating. And we are working usually in design thinking approach. Most of the company work in design thinking approach. And maybe you have heard about design sprints and maybe you know a little bit about agile. So this framework help a lot us integrate in agile world. So when we are working in the sprints, like with the team, it help us to have a 2 weeks, for example, sprint, have the goal and achieve and see how we complete in 2 weeks. How was our approach? Did it work? Didn't work? What we need to do for the next 2 weeks? And we are planning our job. So that's helped us to understand in what direction we are and how we have to work. And here is example. I decided to take example from the physical world because I think it's something that everyone use in the life. It's remote control, right? So it's before and after. That's also one of the day-to-day tasks for UX designers, improve existing experience. So if you have remote control, like in the left side picture, probably you know that sometimes you don't know what means this button, why this button, yellow, green, and red. You probably just try to tap them and press and see what will happen because it's not very clear. But in the right side, you see some rethinking, redesigning of the remote control, right? And you see it's less buttons and they are clear and what they are doing, right? So go back, volume, mute. And that's all. Probably you don't need anything more. So that's our day-to-day job. Do you need more buttons? Do you need less buttons? We have to test that if it's a good solution, right solution. And maybe for some cases it works, for another cases it doesn't work. And that's totally fine too. So our day-to-day life, it's to find the right balance, make happy our users, and still if this product is usable, enjoyable, and actually functional, and of course accessible. So that works for everyone. So common skills for UX designers, because when you know what is UX, right, what UX designers are doing, and even now you know the approach. But what skills do you need as a UX designer? And I would like to split the skills into groups. So you have a soft skills where we speak about user empathy. So how you can understand the people, how you communicate, collaborate, ask questions, and make a research. But also you need to be good in communication and storytelling. That also help you during the research, but also it will help you collaborate and communicate with your team, because collaboration and communication is the most important part. You're never work alone in UX design, you work like a part of the team. So it's very important when you can express your idea, give it good storytelling, present your idea. So same as a collaborate with your teamwork and working with your team. And of course, a hard skill. So it's a technical skills. So when we speak about the hard skills, you have to know about search methods, because research is initial for user experience design. And of course, you have to know about interaction and behavior design, because we are all humans. We have a behave principles based on our brain, how we work, how we interact with the world, how we interact with the physical world. We have some rules and we have some right methods how to work with the users to make a research and choose the right method for research. And of course, wireframing and prototyping. So wireframing and prototyping, it's something what you do after you collect the information from the research. When you already ideate, when you're already clear what trying you to solve, you're going to wireframing, you're sketching your ideas, you're sketching your assumptions to go to test with the real users. And for that, we are using Figma. So there are lots of different tools. For example, Adobe XD, Sketch, they are very good tools. And Figma, one of the best, I would say. So that's one of the most common and hot tool on the market that help work in collaboration with your team. So everyone from designer and from developer team, but also stakeholders and your product owner can use this tool because it's a simple and depend what the needs of people they use in the right way. So you can use the Figma for some ideation session because Figma has a whiteboard, digital whiteboard, but also you can share your prototype, you can share your sketches, share your design and receive the feedback. So the Figma, it's a tool what you are using day to day as a UX designer, but as I mentioned, you probably can use another tool like Adobe XD or Sketch. And I would like to highlight today roles and types of UX designers' job. So when we speak about the roles in UX design, I would like highlight that UX design is interesting because if you learn UX design from scratch and you have some initial knowledge, after you can have a more knowledge, maybe you will have experience and you can change your field or you can expand your knowledge and be more general and generalist. So you will learn more and you will help in every stage of design process and development process. So product development lifecycle includes a lot of stages, not just a design, right? It's also a development and it's a content and it's a visual design. So all these stages can be included if you will become a more pro and you would like to learn. But what is interesting that you can be a specialist. So maybe if you will try and enjoy some very specific field, you can be expert in this field and you can learn just about, for example, user research and be user researcher or usability expert. That's, I think, it's a great opportunity for everyone. So you learn UX your ground knowledge, your background, your fundamental knowledge, and after you can open for yourself more and more roles. And as you see on this slide, we try to highlight for you how many options do you have, right? And as you know, I am a product designer, so my role include UX design and user interface design and some content work, visual design. And all that made me happy. So I can work sometimes more in UX research. Some projects need a more visual design, and that's make my life more fun, more interesting, and based on the project and depend from the needs, I can switch from one to another. But it's totally fine if you will focus in just in something. So just a visual design or just a user interface design or UX design, user research or interaction design. That's totally fine too. That's what I would like to show to you. And types of UX job, what I would like to show to you, what I just showed to you, but I would like to highlight the companies where you can work. So, of course, depends what you will decide for yourself. Do you want to be generalist or you would like to be a specialist in one field? You can have different options of the companies where you can work. So it can be startup or a small business. And in this case, you will work probably like a generalist. So it's a new business. They want to go as soon as possible to the market, launch MVP, minimum viable product, to see how market will receive this market and if they are in the right direction and build more and more features for this product. So in this case, probably you will learn a lot because you will need to do a UX job and UI job and probably some interaction and research and deliver this to the stakeholders and also implement that with the developers. But if you are going to the big companies, highly probably you will work in a very specific project and very specific team. So here you can try yourself and learn and become maybe expert in the one field and be focusing in something that may be most interesting for you. But also you always have an opportunity as a freelancer, right? So it's a self-employed and UX designers who hired by clients, different type of clients and independent services. And in this case, you're boss of yourself, what also sounds cool, right? And I think it's one of the way why I decide to be UX designer. So sometimes I'm working on the full-time job, sometimes I am freelancing and I am self-employed and I am working on myself. So in this case, I can take a decision in what project I want to work, who is my client, where I want to work, what time I want to work, what day I want to work. So here is a lot of responsibilities on my side, but from the other side, you are feeling like more freedom. So you are taking decision yourself. But here you have to be careful. You have to manage a lot of things like taxes. It's also now up to you how you do that. And you have to probably contract someone else who can help with that. But it's a great option, especially if you like to travel or maybe you don't like to go outside. And was one of the most common questions is about salaries. So I would like to highlight for you that for this statistic, it's updated 1st of August 2022 in a Glassdoor. The average salary for user experience designer in United Kingdom, it's approximately £50,000 or it's approximately $60,000. So if you would like to know that information in your region, I would recommend you go to the Glassdoor, select your country, type the user experience designer, and see the result, what will show in your country, in your region. And here I would say it's just average, but you can have more, because when we start, we are juniors, right? We don't have much knowledge and we are learning, yeah? But in UX design, as a lot of other jobs, you have a stages. So you go from the junior to the senior to the lead level. And there you already can try to think what you would like to do. Do you want to be an expert in one topic or you want to be manager? And it will be already other kind of the salary. And of course, it's also depend from the country where you are. So as you see, that sounds good. And you can learn more, you can get more. So that's, I think, also very beneficial from UX design. And I think that's all what I would like to share today. So I will stay with you and I'm happy to answer all your questions in the end of the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalia. This was really great. And I hope we all learned a lot about UX design and possible UX design career. So let's skip to our students' experience with client presentation, which I know it's one of the most interesting things for all of you watching us, because you will have to have the opportunity to have a direct insight in what actually our students are doing during developing a client project. So I hope this will be great for you to see.
Move into, I suppose, UX because I recently completed a data analytics course. And for me, I kind of want to use data to, I suppose, better services for customers and users. So I chose the course because I wanted more working with a real life case study. And for me, it's also getting to understand a bit more about UX theory and in practice, and also looking at how to use UX tools better as well. So like Figma, looking at prototyping and that sort of thing. So I was working in a team of 3 and our project was called Blue Pass. So I'll give a brief introduction in terms of what we're talking about within my project slides. So for this, I'm just going to go through insights from discovery research in terms of analysing the actual app itself, walk through the ideation process in terms of what we learned through the research, and also again integrating theory from the course. And then also samples from design artifacts, so learning about what we learned from Figma, and also just designing wireframes as well for the actual project. So about BluePass itself. So BluePass is a mobile app that connects NHS staff with companies providing discounts specifically for them. The target market is primarily aimed at the NHS, but it's also more of a focus on doctors, nurses, and ambulance drivers. So when we received the client brief, the focus was on improving the experience, user experience and flow. So this is something that the app doesn't currently offer to users, and it also lacked that activation of discounts and sharing them. The key metrics that we advised to improve on were engagement within the app as well, and also the sharing of discounts. The reason why the sharing of discounts is important is because it's more about, I suppose, growth, and the client wanted to grow the app within the next couple of years to, I suppose, increase the position on app stores. So when we got the brief, we kind of wanted to understand what the market was like currently in terms of discount apps, not just for specifically for emergency services, but then also looking at other competitors within different markets. So our key, I suppose, competitor was Blue Light, and for us, Blue Light is an app that is not just focused on NHS, but it's also on emergency services. So looking at, I suppose, fire service, looking at coast guards, and for us, it's more understanding the aesthetics in terms of, okay, and how can emergency service people actually log onto the app? How can they be registered to make sure that they are genuinely work for the emergency services? But also looking at, I suppose, the sign of how discounts are featured on the app as well. Then we looked at other similar based websites as well. So, for example, the NHS staff benefits. So this gave us an understanding of looking at how discounts are presented, but not necessarily a direct competitor due to the fact that it's a website rather than an app. So the features and the actual usability would be completely different to what BluePass is looking for. And then finally we looked at apps that offer, I suppose, similar sort of experience like UniDay. So that was more of a indirect competitor, but we wanted to understand how we could present discounts better and also improve the onboarding process. Because, you know, UniDay is a growing, I suppose, app for students themselves. So we kind of took inspiration in terms of how people logged on, understanding how discounts are presented, just to get an inspiration and a core understanding of how these sort of apps work. So after we did that, we sort of took, I suppose we had a module in terms of understanding user research, and for us it was taking on two people to research who are currently working for the NHS. Again, it could be any staff members, so working either in back office or actually frontline staff. So we basically did user research. So we did a 5-minute warm-up questions to understand their buying behaviours, understanding if they currently use any discount apps, and also looking at the frequency and what they, I suppose, how they use it. Followed by doing a 10-minute exercise with the current BluePass app, so understanding how they would use it, if there's anything they felt was good, anything they found frustrating, just so we get key points of understanding how we can improve the app better for the users. So I'm just going to pull out a few key quotes that we found from the user research. So one of the key things we found the homepage confusing, as I was expecting to see more than just a blank screen. So it highlighted to us that possibly it wasn't so user-friendly for them to use. I like asking my friends and family to find codes through WhatsApp. So again, it's kind of that engagement and sharing it aspect that the app wanted and also highlighted the user wanted. And I find the process of finding discounts too long. So that was one of the key things for us, is actually, if it's too long, then we're going to have to simplify the process for the user, just so they can be engaged more and actually want to use the app more frequently. So we took these insights and did some workshop facilitation just to get better understanding of how can we improve the actual app and what are the key things we need to improve on. So before that, we kind of developed a story in terms of who we're aiming these changes at. So our persona is a guy called Carol. So he's a ambulance driver, and his current scenario is he's been recommended the app by one of his colleagues, and he's looking to use the app for the first time. So he's looking for a really good onboarding experience that he will continue to use for the long term. So his expectations from the app is it needs to be, he wants to save money, but he wants the process to be easy and simple due to time restrictions. Because he'll be using the app on an ad hoc basis, he also wants to feel engaged in terms of using it and also wants to feel like it's tailored to him. He wants to be able to share these discounts, and that was a key feature for us when we were redesigning, is the fact that these discounts need to be, you need to be able to share these easily to friends and family, and vice versa. So he wants, I suppose, social media integration into the app. So following on from this, we sort of created a hypothesis of how it meets statements. So our how it meets statement was how might we improve the user instruction to the app, and this is broken down into four different aspects. So you need to improve the onboarding process, creating a sign-up login process to make it more obvious at the beginning, improve discount visibility like we've seen in competitor sites and apps as well, and the most important thing was social media integration into the app. So we kind of took the steps in terms of, because it's a long process, we decided to break it down into creating easier, more digestible steps for the user to use. So for us, it's kind of making sure that the sign up and login was easy to use and just a few steps compared to what's previously. Looking at the discounts, making sure it was more visible and easy to read and actually find the discounts, and then followed by how users might share the discounts to make it, again, more easier for them to use. So following on from this, we decided to take what the information we found from the workshop facilitation and actually redesign the app. So we all took in turns to sort of take small parts of the app that we felt we can improve on, but still have that same aesthetics of what the app was previously like, but then also taking on notes from other sites that we've seen, like similar competitor sites, basically. So basically, just to have an idea of how might we would redesign the app for cameras, making sure it was easy for them to see and actually use. Before following on to redesigning the actual app in Figma, so we kind of made high fidelity frames as well as making it a prototype that was interactive as well for when we did the usability testing. So for us, it was simplifying the sign in and login that was similar to other sign-in pages that we've seen from competitors and also like websites like Groupon or even Brochure, just to name a few, just so we can simplify the process. And then followed by, again, how the user would go on to looking at how the discounts are presented, so making sure the tiling format is something that they're familiar with other discount apps, but again, easy to read, easy to find what they were searching for compared to what it was like previously. Of the office page, make sure that it was more concise, but then also making sure it's users can read as much as they like, give and take the information that they find on the site. Again, that's a similar feature that's been featured on other sites that we saw. So, for example, Groupon does a similar thing. And then the most important feature that we had to add in was making sure that there was a share button and make sure it was visible for the user for sharing this discount via social media sites. So our recommendations that we presented to the client was simplify the onboarding process through creating a tile-based homepage and also improving how users sign up and sign into the app itself. Slacking the offers with discounts highlighted and reducing text to balance with more images to make it more visually pleasing and increasing, I suppose, engagement with the app itself. And then finally, sharing and promoting via social media apps.
So this was great client presentation. Thank you, Sam. I hope everyone found it useful and enjoyed it. And now we'll have Mirjana, and she will tell us more about your journey with UX Academy.
Great, thanks, Katrina. As our students already have heard, our UX design course, beginner level, lasts for 8 weeks. During these 8 weeks, we have two great teachers, Stratis and Natalia, and you have a special journey with them to learn how to become a good UX designer. Basically, lessons are split into 8 weeks, held once per week, evening time, and our teacher Stratis starts with our course with learning the basics of UX design. Week 1, where there is a definition of user experience, elements, terminology, what is the design process, and who are the people involved. Second week, you will be learning about discovery research, what is user research, why do we need it, and how to build a research plan. Then we have ideation, and we have some more information about how to communicate findings to stakeholders, clients, methods, outputs. And also with our teacher strategies, you will be learning about mapping and wireframing. Learn what are UX design maps and why are they useful for you. From the week 5, you continue your journey with our teacher Natalia and start learning about prototyping and how to understand the difference between wireframing and prototyping, and how to learn about the interaction design principles and how to prototype your solution. Week 6 we go to user testing. What are usability tests? Why do we need them? Week 7 we go through design iteration, learn how to analyze and categorize test findings, and week 8 we have project presentation. Basically, these 8 weeks serve for you to learn how to develop a project from the beginning till the very end, and you finish your journey with us with this last presentation directly to our client company. So let's see, how does 1 week of UX design course look like. First of all, you get theory and all the most important knowledge and things related to UX design. So you get this information during the class and conversation presentations with our teacher. But this is not the end of the session for that week, because after that you have, as we like to call it, fun work, which is basically homework and your personal engagement together with your team and working on your project. So overall, during 1 week of the course, besides the session, you have, let's say, 3 hours of work you should put in this course. We have designed it specially for all students who are maybe working or studying, so you can manage it all and have a great result at the end of our course. And as additional support, as I have mentioned before, we have mentorship sessions, which you can schedule together with your team and remove all the blockers related to the project you're working on and get all needed information. Now, our colleague Katrina will tell you more about making a great UX design portfolio.
Oh, sorry, everyone. So now I'll tell you a little bit about our free UX design portfolio template. So you can go on our website under UX resources, free UX portfolio. You click on that, and there you can download our free portfolio. We have created this template for you to help you boost your career, so you can present your projects and your knowledge in the field by using this template. So please go on our website and check it out. Maybe it will be helpful for you. I hope you find it helpful, because many of our students and our partners did. And now it's time for questions. And there is a special offer that I would like to announce, which is 10% off our beginner UX design course. So if you use code workshop 10 during the deposit, or buying like the whole course, it will automatically take 10% off. Now, please, I will invite our course instructor back, and we will wait for a bit and answer any questions you might have about UX design, about Natalia's experience in UX industry. Please feel free to ask any questions, and we are so excited to answer them. I will play a little bit background noise until we gather all the questions. Okay, so we have first question. Anna, thank you for the question. Do you need some previous knowledge to start the course?
Yeah, so I can pick up this question. So that course is for beginners. UX Academy also has a course for intermediate level. For beginners, you don't need any knowledge. So we start from scratch. So if you don't have experience with UX, if you don't have experience with Figma, that's totally for you, because we are going to learn from the beginning.
And does the course include some books?
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a pack, right? So Katrina, maybe you can a little bit more. So we have a pack and we share a couple books in PDF version. What can be useful, it's a must read for UX designers. So that would be very helpful for your career. So it's a book like Don't Make Me Think. It's like a Bible, right? And so we have a couple more books what can help.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer, Natalia. Let's see if we can get you more questions. Don't be shy, you can ask anything about UX design. Natalia is always happy to answer the questions of her journey.
I think I answered the most important question about salary during my presentation. That's one of the most common questions, right? So, yeah. But yeah, we're happy to answer all your questions. And if you have any question after, also you can contact us. We're very happy to help.
Yes, I'll play a little more music until we get a few more questions. So I have, until we get some people to ask questions, I have some questions for you. So what is your favorite thing about UX design? So when you wake up and you are like excited to go to job, can you share with us what keeps you going with this job? And like you always have a smile on your face and always in a meeting and during the course are always so excited. So what is the trick about UX that makes you so happy?
I think the most important for me is the impact what my work has for people. So how can I help people and how I can see it make their life. And that's, I think, my biggest motivation, because when you're working a lot with the people user experience. It's all about experience of humans. So you interact, you collaborate, you work with the people and you improve their life. And I think it's the most interesting part and the most exciting and motivated part.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. It was very nice to hear that. Here is one more question. Are the courses recorded, and is the material available to the participants? So I can answer that because I work with course recordings. Yes, which is great because if you need to miss part of the course, right next day you can watch the recording and follow up with what you missed. So yes, all materials, so slides are uploaded to the Google Drive, as well as the recording of the presentation. Okay, thank you, Asami, for asking. So after I take this course, are there entry-level positions I could apply for? Great question, Kartudia. Thank you.
Yeah, so after course, you will get the knowledge. So you will know all the process, as I mentioned, design thinking approach, and you will need a practice. So during our course, you will have opportunity to work on the real project, what is one of the benefit of UX Academy. So it's not just a case study based on the fictional project. It's a real project when you will have an opportunity to speak with the real client. You will find the real users of this service or a product. So you will have the knowledge, you will have experience. But after course, and if you don't have a previous experience, of course, it will be entry level. And entry level, it's something like internship, but of course with the payment. So entry level required some knowledge, what you will get during the course. So I think entry knowledge and your experience based on our course, what you will finish with the real product, and I mean project, that will be your portfolio and your CV.
Thank you so much. We have 2 more questions. Natalia, what is one piece of advice that you can give to us beginners?
That's a good question. So, of course, join UX Academy and learn more about when you are a beginner, when I was beginner, right? So I try to find mentorship. So in the age when I start my career, it was not possible to find some courses. It was a very young industry in that period, so we learn more while we are working. So for me, it was important to find the mentor, someone who can help me and answer exactly the question what I have and help me. It was even with the tools and not just general UX knowledge. And until today, I'm looking for mentors, for people who has more experience than I, and ask them how can I improve my knowledge and have more experience, or improve my knowledge and go to the next stage. So I would recommend you as a beginner, try to find the mentor, someone who can guide you and help you, because I know it's a lot of information. So 15 years ago when I started was not enough information. Now it's overwhelm of information. So to find the right way, right information, for that would be nice if someone who has experience can guide you and help you in what direction look. And of course, based on your interest, help you to find maybe the field if you would like to be an expert.
Thank you so much for your answer. And we just have time for one more question. And thank you for asking. Hi, thanks for all the info this session. Do you have any advice on finding a balance between not enough and too much detail when writing a case study?
Yeah, so currently I'm mentoring one person from Hexagon, and she is in university, so she studied here in London, and she is doing her master in design, and she shared her portfolio. So that's about the writing. So when you're in academy, you are writing a lot. When you are in the real world, you are writing less, but very important information. So that's happening. And of course, when you are presenting your case study, you have to write, of course, a definition. You have to explain what you are sharing. You have to explain what you have done, what approach you use, why you took this decision. But you don't need to write like academic writing, because nobody really will read so much. And you have to give the key why you took this decision very clear, what helped understand that you are very good in communication, in telling what exactly you have done and why you take this decision or another decision. But if you are already in a stage where you are interviewing, you can explain more. So you can provide more context and explain more about your case study and what you have done. But in the case, for example, if you are showing in your case study like a whole process end to end, and you explain like, for example, design research. So you can explain what research, it's a primary, secondary research, why you took decision to take this research and what was the outcome. So it can be 2-3 sentences, but a very, very compact and very clear about that particular, what you want to express. And after you can add if you are in an interview stage. Kate, you're on mute.
All right, thank you everyone for asking such a great questions, and Natalia for answering them amazing as always. And now it's time to wrap up this session. I hope everyone had wonderful time learning about UX design, and I hope you guys found it helpful and valuable. And we're looking forward to seeing all of you again in some of our next online events. So please check our website so you can find all about our upcoming events. Thank you.
From my side, also thank you very much for joining the webinar, and to invite you to join our course, which starts 17th of August. So you're welcome to join, and happy to see you on board.
Goodbye.